In an episode that will stay with you long after the credits roll, Live with Kelly&Mark delivered one of the most powerful hours of daytime television in recent memory. It began with a miracle walking out onto the stage and ended with a moment of raw honesty that reminded millions of viewers what it truly means to be human. And somehow, through emotion, vulnerability, and a surprising twist, these two moments connected in a way no one could have predicted. If you're craving hope, inspiration, or simply a moment that reminds you there is good in this world, even in the chaos of everyday life, this is an episode you'll want to revisit again and again. Because this wasn't just a morning show. This was a masterclass in resilience. A morning that started ordinary, until it didn't. You know how it goes. We wake up, make our coffee, check the news, brace ourselves for the day's noise. Most mornings blur together, but every now and then, something breaks the pattern. Something reminds us how much beauty can live in a single hour. That was October 24th. The first hint was the guest. For months, the world had held its breath. Jeremy Renner, beloved actor, father, friend, had survived the kind of accident that almost no one survives, crushed by a 14,000-pound snowplow, dozens of broken bones, uncertain odds, the kind of injury that tests the body and the soul. We saw the headlines, we saw the hospital photos, we whispered our prayers, but none of us knew if we'd ever see the old Jeremy, that spark, that humor, that grit, ever again. And then there he was, walking, smiling, glowing, not carried, not assisted, not diminished. He walked out onto that stage unassisted, shoulders back, with that familiar, mischievous grin that seemed to say, "Surprised? Don't be. I'm not done yet." The audience exploded. Ripa, always quick with a joke, was visibly overwhelmed. Mark and Swailers just stared at Jeremy like he was witnessing something sacred. This wasn't applause for a celebrity. This was applause for a survivor, for the human spirit, for every person who has ever heard "you won't make it" and replied, "Watch me." Jeremy Renner doesn't talk about pain. He talks about purpose. He talked about how his daughter gave him strength when he couldn't stand on his own, how the love from his family healed him in ways medicine never could, how every breath he takes now feels intentional, earned, sacred. He even called the accident, a moment that nearly killed him, a blessing. Imagine that. A blessing. It wasn't the pain that he carried with him. It was the clarity to appreciate the mundane, the clarity to slow down, the clarity to love harder, deeper, louder than before. As he spoke, a calm fell over the studio. Even through the screen, you could feel it, the weight of his words sinking into your own chest. Jeremy wasn't just promoting a project, he was delivering a message. Resilience isn't about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to rise. And then Ripa had a moment no one saw coming. A few segments later, the show returned to its usual playful banter, Kelly teasing Mark, Mark teasing back, the chemistry we all tune in for. But then something shifted. The conversation drifted, as it often does, to the little frustrations of life. Technology, errands, responsibilities, the 100 tiny annoyances that can turn a perfectly good day sour. And then Kelly stopped. Her expression changed. Her energy softened. She looked less like a TV host and more like a woman remembering something important. She took a breath, and what she said next silenced the entire studio. After hearing Jeremy talk about choosing to see his recovery as a blessing, she began, "I think you can cut?" After hearing Jeremy talk about choosing to see his recovery as a blessing, it hit me. We have that same choice every single morning. We can't control the snowplows of life, but we can control our reaction to them, I'm trying to consciously change the channel in my mind." You could hear a pin drop. Mark looked at her with the tenderness of a man falling in love all over again. The audience leaned in, sensing the vulnerability of the moment. This wasn't Kelly the entertainer. This was Kelly the human being. Kelly the wife, the mother, the friend, the woman doing her best in a complicated world, just like the rest of us. And in that moment, she wasn't speaking at viewers, she was speaking to them. 2 stories, 1 lesson. So what do Jeremy Renner's near-fatal accident and Kelly Ripa's everyday frustrations have in common? Everything. Because as Jeremy was leaving the set, he said something that tied the entire hour together in a perfect, unexpected bow. He told them the hardest part wasn't the physical therapy, it was the mental battle. Waking up every day and deciding to fight, deciding to find one single thing to be happy about. That was the real work. There it was, the connection. Jeremy fighting for his life, Kelly fighting for her mindset. Different stakes, same choice. Every day, every morning, every moment, the choice to focus on the light. Resilience, it turns out, isn't born in dramatic moments. It's built quietly through small decisions, through gratitude for the sun on your face, through appreciation for your morning coffee, through laughter with a friend, through choosing joy even when life doesn't hand it to you. Jeremy's struggle was enormous. Kelly's was relatable. Both were real. Both were human. Both were reminders that resilience is a muscle, one we all can strengthen. Your invitation to choose your channel. You may have clicked on this story for a bit of celebrity news, a quick update, something to pass the time. But I hope you leave with something deeper, a spark. Because the real message of that episode isn't about Jeremy Renner or Kelly Ripa. It's about you. What is the snowplow in your life right now? What is the one thing you can choose to be grateful for today? Which channel is your mind tuned to? I can't, or watch me. Because your story, your everyday victories, your struggles, your joy, is its own form of resilience. And, like Jeremy and Kelly reminded us, you are stronger than you think. Your perspective is more powerful than you realize, and your show is just getting started.